Hi, I'm Amy. I'm a service designer at Side by Side and I've been leading on the Reimagining Old Age project. The Reimagining Old Age project has taken many forms over the last year due to the uncertainty surrounding COVID. The project started off looking into the use of technology for well-being, but as someone who's a designer and someone who believes in research before solutions, I started thinking about whether this was the right approach. The worry with basing a project around technology means there is always a risk of using tech for tech's sake and not to solve a real-life problem. After sitting down with the team, Omar and I decided that we really needed to change our approach, and that's where the idea of quality of life and care came from. We realised that the point of tech for wellbeing was to improve quality of life for those people growing older and in care. So we really needed to understand what that meant for customers, for example, Harvard's customers, and we also needed to do some discovery work to see what improvements need to be made to help us better shape the project. Our first thing that we did was we went out and spoke to care home managers to get a better understanding of the frontline issues that care are facing every day in being able to offer the best quality of care. Time, funding, limited resources, all these insights weren't a surprise to us. They're industry-wide problems that we see regularly on the news and we hear about. So to get fully to the bottom of what the issues are, we needed to get some fresh ideas and speak to people receiving care. This was much easier said than done at the time because the pandemic brought in some very big challenges, including limited access into care homes. The second wave meant all our care homes were on lockdown, and staff didn't have the time to chat to us about how we can improve services. All they needed to do was to just keep everyone safe. It's at those times when you hit those big barriers and walls that you really have to think, can I pivot? It would have been easy to give up and to pull the project and think, let's just work on something else, COVID's in the way. But these problems, whether the pandemic is there or not, aren't going away anytime soon. So I decided, right, let's get our heads down, let's really start thinking about how else we can approach the project and get the insights we need to really improve quality of life in care. So it was at this point that we decided that we needed to pivot again. And that's when the Reimagining Old Age project was born. The last two iterations just didn't feel bold enough for Side by Side, and they were much more too focused on kind of care services. We started to realise that old age is much more broader than just care. There's so many things that make up old age, and that's what we decided we needed to look at next. So over the next kind of 6 months or so, we set out to really reimagine old age. We thought, let's go and speak to the next generation, those who are going to be entering our services at some point in the next, whether it's 20, 30, 40 years. Their expectations are all going to be slightly different on what our future services should look like. So we worked with primary and secondary school pupils, we've worked with university students on a 24-hour live design sprint, and we also work with groups of millennials and did some workshops on understanding perception of care in old age. So by understanding what we think is important to people, hopefully we'll be able to build services that are fit for the future of ageing.